tutorial, we're going to use Photoshop CC 2020 in order to use some masking techniques in order to combine some different types of items. In this one, we're going to go ahead and combine two different types of moons in order to create one basic effect. Later on, this is an effect you can use to create some double exposures, but for now, we're going to make it a little bit simpler. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and do a File, Open. And let's go ahead and grab our colorful moon and our gray moon. So I'm going to click color moon and gray moon with a shift and say open. So the first thing I want to do is check my size. So on this, I've got the gray moon first. Let's go to image, image size. And we can see that it's really, really big right now. We don't need it that big. Let's go ahead and bring it down to about 9 inches and drop that resolution up to 300. Resample 2.0 and OK. And let's pop over to our color moon and do the same thing. Image, image size. Let's go ahead and change it to 9 inches wide as well. 300, preserve details, and OK. So now I want to be able to look at them side by side. So let's go Window, Arrange. We want 2 up vertical. And we're going to grab this, put our move tool, let's grab that colorful moon. We know it's one selected because it's white. And the first thing we're going to do is we've got to flip it over in order we can stick it on the other side of this gray one. So let's go Image, Image Rotation, go to 180. So it's going to completely flip that over. Now we need to drag this layer over the color. So I'm going to grab that color moon and bring it over here onto my gray image. I'm going to go ahead and close that color moon. No, I don't want to save anything. And so now I've got these two images, 2 layers on top of each other, but I can't necessarily see through them because of the black. So yes, you could try and go through and just delete it with like a magic wand, but that's not quite the effect we're going for today. Let's go ahead and do a File, Save As. Save it as your first initial, last name, underscore, what do we call this one? Moon Mask. And make sure you're putting it in the right folder and PSD and say Save. Alright, we do want to maximize compatibility, that's fine. So next thing we want to do is we want to be on that colorful moon layer. We want to add a layer mask, which means we're going to come down here to the bottom of our layers panel and hit that little camera. And it's going to create a mask. Let's go ahead and go to our tools panel, grab a brush. Let's go to our brush. We want about 175 points. Let's make it nice and hard. You can play with that later. Let's bring that opacity, make sure it's 100, flows at 100. And my color is black, so when we're working with masks, we're going to be revealing and hiding. So if you paint with black, it's going to reveal. So you can see I'm painting out part of this black part, and I can reveal the moon underneath, so I'm hiding that part. The black is saying basically hide this section. So now I can tell I've got kind of some 2 different sizes going on. So before I mask too much more, I'm going to grab that move tool, make sure your show transform is on, and grab those handles, and let's make that moon more the same size. So we're going to have to play with the proportion a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and hit shift and drag, so it's going to let me manipulate it a little bit more. So you can see part of my mask didn't quite work out the way I want to. That's alright, we can fix it. When it's about the same size, let's go ahead and hit check. Let's go back into our mask over here and grab that brush tool and keep brushing out that black so we can hide it. Now you'll notice there's this funky kind of gray strip in between. So I'm going to go ahead and move that up, Control plus. So I want to make sure I get rid of all this gray. And so now I want to kind of make this more subtle. Oh, see, I've got a bunch over here. So now I need to go back to my transform, maybe make it a little bit bigger. And because we're messing with the proportion by holding shift, we can change the shape a little bit till we're more happy with how round it is. We can also just take it out altogether. So you can always shift it, turn it a little bit, if that helps. Alright, so I can go ahead and go back with my masks. So maybe I got too much out. I'm going to go ahead and grab that brush tool, make it white. And anything I go over with white is going to make that section reappear. So white to make it reappear, black to hide it. So I'm going to hide that part again. So as we were talking, we've got this funky gray part in the middle that we kind of need to blend. So I'm going to go ahead and leave my brush there, but I'm going to take that opacity down. and kind of start blending the two edges together. And see how we can kind of start masking and making it look a little bit more similar. Still not super happy with the size of that one, so let's go ahead and grab it, transform one more time. Kind of bring it up just a tad. There we go, that's better. Alright, so you're going to get to a point where you like the way it's looking together. So play with that brush, play with your flow, play with your opacity, play with the different elements you have. Oh, I'm not on the mask. And you can kind of blend them together a little bit more. So the goal is to make it look like they have been combined more seamlessly. So that's what we want to try and do with the mask. That looks kind of funky. Don't love it though. Let's Control Z and take that back out. So you can always back up with your Control Z. If you don't like it, play with that flow, play with the smoothing. Maybe you want to make it a little bit deeper. Way too much. So go ahead, make sure you're playing, and you get a moon that you are happy with. When you're done with it, you're going to go ahead and save it. And then I want you to find two other images that you can combine together. You can easily make apples and oranges combine, balls combine pretty well. It's a pretty easy way to put people's heads on other people's bodies. So see if you can find another way to use those layer masks in order to create a new and different type of image. And that's all for this one.